All right, all right. Peace and Black Power family. Let me know if you can hear me out there. Let me know if you can hear me out there. Today is going to be a good show. First, let me get things situated. Let me let people on Instagram know that I'm live on YouTube. Um, and I gotta start learning how to save my videos from my Instagram lives, man, because I be dropping some good game on Instagram Live. But I don't have any way to save that. So if you guys know any good ways for me to save my lives besides screen recording, let me know. Definitely share the links, like the videos. This is going to be an interesting video. By the topic, it says the science behind racism. So we're gonna go into the science behind racism because a lot of people do not understand the system of racism, white supremacy. Give me 1 second. Let me let people know that I am live on YouTube. I'm live on YouTube right now. Swipe up, follow the link, come join me on YouTube live right now. It's going to be an interesting conversation. Swipe up. All right. So give me 1 second, family. Why I do that? Yeah, thumbs up the video as we get started up and get things warmed up. Give me 1 second. Let me get the link for this. Ta, 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 ta. And again, share this if you can with friends. Why is it not showing that I'm live right now? All right, there we go. All right, so there go the link. Share. Now go back. All right, anyway, so I'm live on YouTube right now. Let me put the link in. We about to get it popping, family. My bad. My bad. My bad. My bad. I know I'm moving slow. I know I'm moving slow. Forgive me. I know I am moving slow. I'm live on YouTube right now. Swipe. All right. So that should do it. That should do it. All right. Boom. So for the late birds that's up right now with me, this is going to be interesting for those who watching this on the playback. This is going to be a very interesting topic. I'm going to break down a lot of things regarding racism and the science behind racism, um, and what is racism. Because a lot of us, for the most part, don't understand racism. A lot of black people think that racism is specifically having an opinion about our oppression. A lot of us think that, and let me know if y'all can hear me out there. Let me know if it's real clear. Am I coming in good? Do I need to put the microphone up? Let me know. Let me know if I'm coming in clear. So a lot of us think that racism is simply and merely have an opinion about our oppression. We think that racism is saying anything negative about white people, and that is not the case. Racism is a social political system designed to keep a group of people ahead of another group of people. And specifically, that group of people is white people. Okay. So, dealing with the concept of race is an organized participation of a group of people. This is why we have a race: black race, white race, Asian race. It is a group competition. It is like a relay race, basically, right? So, white people 500 years ago put this system into play, right? Of discriminating and mistreating black people 500 years ago, and now their children are still benefiting from that relay race. So each generation, as a relay race goes on, they pass the baton. They pass on the benefits that was passed on to them from the generation before. Because again, in order to be successful, you need someone to precede you, to be your predecessor. So success comes from having a predecessor, right? So that's just understanding the concept of racism. Okay, the concept of racism is a system put in place to benefit white people so they can be socially, politically, and psychologically astute or ahead of all other races. Okay, like this video, share this link uh, if possible. Now, racism is psychological, racism also is political and based and rooted in institutions, because the institutions primarily practice racism. And most of the institutions in America are primarily owned by white people. We may have a few black people operating within the system, but they don't run the system. These are coons, these are bedwenches, these are people put here to maintain the system of racism and white supremacy. So each institution in its inception is designed to trip up black people in this race that we have. Each institution is designed to trip up black people in this race that we have. I'll give you a prime example. The more schools that are produced in America, the more stupider we get. The more we go to college as Africans, the more stupider we get. The more we go to college for business management, the less businesses we freaking manage, the less businesses we have operating under our own name. I need you to understand that. The more we go to school to be nurses and doctors within this system, this political social system, the more our children become sick, the more we get infected with diseases, the more things enter our communities. You get what I'm saying? The more we become lawyers, the more people get locked up. The more we become judges, the more the laws change to destroy us. Because again, the institutions are founded on racism. So the more we partake in these systems, the more they shall destroy us. The more banks that open up in our community, the more we become impoverished. Each institution is designed to do the reversed effect for African people. Each institution is designed to do the reversed effect for African people. It was never designed for you. The more we build correctional institutions, the less criminality becomes corrected. This is fundamental. These people did not set these institutions up for you to prosper from. They set them up so you can assimilate into their culture, into their way of life, and help oppress your people. Now, some would say, well, brother, what do you want me to do? I wanted to be a nurse my whole life. Oh, brother, what do you want me to do? I wanted to be a police officer my whole life. Understandable. Like Dr. John Henry Clark says, whatever you do for your people, make sure that, whatever you love doing, make sure you do it to better your people. The problem with that is you can't better your people under the system of racism and white supremacy. So what must we do? What Garvey said. We must slowly pull out of this westernized way of living. We must slowly pull out and build our own institutions. Because as long as we allow these people to educate our children, we're going to be miseducated, like Carter G. Woodson says in his book, The Miseducation of the Negro. The more we allow them to control the health care, the more we're going to be miseducated on health care. We're going to have high blood pressure. We're going to have diabetes. The more we're going to die. The more we're not going to receive proper health care. The more we allow them to control our form of health care. The more we allow them to control the judicial system, the more we're not going to receive justice. Because they didn't set the systems up for us to benefit from them at all. The more we have social workers, the more broken families we're going to have. Have you not noticed that? The more they have social workers, the same way they did in the 60s when they had those social workers coming out to your house. Oh, hey, this and that. We want to come. And then they eventually said the black man needs to leave the house. The black man has to get out the house. Each institution in its conceptions in America is designed to do the reversed effect for African people. The reversed effect. How do you have right now, black women are leading as the most educated people in the United States. That is not reflective of what is going on in our community. It's not showing. Because these women have been educated in the system of racism, white supremacy. We have counselors, we have love counselors, we have family counselors. But the more we have family counselors, the more broken families we have. Think about that. I really want y'all to think about that. The more we integrate and push our way into the system, the more the system will destroy us because that's what it's 100% designed to do. It is 100% designed to do that. And if you don't understand the system, then you're not going to understand why we have issues with Black love. If you don't understand this system in which we live, then you're not going to understand why we have issues with Black love. You're going to be pointing the finger at Black women. You're going to be pointing the finger at Black men and saying, you see, this is why we can't come together and Black niggas ain't shit and Black women ain't shit. And that's going to be our go-to. Black niggas ain't shit. Black women ain't shit. That's going to be everything. Black niggas ain't shit. Black women ain't shit. Because we have not yet understood that this system needs us to produce broken families. 100%. This system could not function properly. See, white people cannot compete on an even playing field. This is a fact. Let me say that again. White people cannot compete on an even playing field. They need the advantage of racism so that they can stay ahead. When you really look at the accomplishments and the achievements of European people beginning at the 1400s, and even we can go back. We can even go back to Rome. We can even go back to Greece. We can even go back to Athens and all those other places. Those also were created by Black people. Black people were very influential in those societies. But when you look at starting from the 1400s and now, white people haven't accomplished anything without African people being influencers in that or by oppressing African people. Do you think that they could have built this system without enslaving our African ancestors? Our African ancestors? Do you really think that? No. This system had to come at the oppression of our African ancestors. 100%. And that's what the system is. Even when white people here couldn't survive, they started going to Africa and start colonizing Africa because they need this system to survive. They cannot survive without the oppression, the mistreatment of African people. So solutions is to slowly change your taste and desire within the system. Now, what do I mean by taste and desire within this system? We must slowly pull away from the Gucci's. Rapidly. We must rapidly because we in a dire situation right now. But we must pull away from the Gucci's, the Pradas, the Lexus cars. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. They're like, bro, son, you talking that bullshit. We cannot continuously fund the people who institutionally are oppressing us. I made a comment on Instagram not too long ago. I said there are at least 10 African car companies manufactured in Africa, different parts. You got some in Ghana, you got some in other places where these African cars are manufactured by the hands of Africans. But yet those cars, because of trade agreements, are not brought to the Americas, not because they cannot be manufactured, but because it will put a dent in white supremacy's pocket. And so those cars are left only in Africa and sometime in Europe to be purchased by other Africans. Because again, if you start having African people, us in the Americas and the Caribbean, start having pride about themselves and wanting to buy African, support African, own African, and do everything African, and what does that do to white people who need us to be dependent on this system? What does it do to them financially? What does it do to them socially? What does it do to them psychologically? See, because again, white people's psychology is based off of the mistreatment and degradation of African people. So as long as a white person, no matter how poor, no matter how ignorant, no matter how stupid they are, as long as they can look and say, at least I'm not a nigger. I don't care if I live in a trailer. I don't care if I live on the side of the road. I don't care if I work at McDonald's flipping burgers. As long as they can say, at least I'm not a nigger, then they gonna vote for people like Trump all day because Trump fuels them with that racist idea that I'm still better than you, even if I'm a poor white person. I'm still better than James Harden. I'm still better than uh 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 freaking the richest black person because I'm still white in a system that upholds my whiteness and you're still a nigger. See, I'm giving you the science of racism on how it works from the top down to the bottom. The science of racism, the ideas of racism, the conceptual thought of racism. That no matter how poor you are as a cracker, you still have a social system that makes you feel good about yourself. And that's why the flip reverse of that is no matter how rich you are as a black person, you still have a system that makes you feel like shit about yourself. And this is why you see most black people who come into to wealth, they do the most stupidest shit with the wealth. Because they have not yet learned to love themselves within this system. Because the system has made them feel insecure about themselves. I watched the interview with Plies one time. He was talking to a gentleman. He said, man, I remember when I came out with my first album, I used to keep my mouth closed because I was insecure to talk around white people. You have a lot of black people. Sammy Sosa, look at all the money Sammy Sosa got, even though he's black, or he was black, but even though he's black, Hispanic, or black, African, whatever you want to call him, look at him. All that money he got, knocking, people love him, knocking out the home runs, doing all type of crazy. He still felt the need to bleach his skin. And a lot of celebrities feel that way. So the flip side is, no matter how poor and white you are, your self-esteem is always going to feel good in this system. No matter how poor, dirt poor you are, you a cracker, you live in a trailer park, you still gonna feel good about yourself because you have a social system that caters to you. And the flip side is no matter how rich you are as a black person, no matter how educated you are as a black person, when you look in the mirror, you still see a nigga, no matter how much money you got. And that's the science behind racism. And that's why you see these fat white girls being able to get some chocolate, beautiful African brothers. And you see some white women, you know what I'm saying, being able to manipulate black men. And black women getting with these busted up ass white dudes. You're like, this what the fuck you with? You with this shit? Like, look how bad you are, sister. What are you doing with this dirty ass cracker? Because the social system has placed a level of insecurities on black people that they feel like even the dirtiest cracker is above them. That they feel that they're lucky to be with this white person. That they feel privileged to be with that dirty ass cracker. I'm telling you. You look at these black men, you like, yo, you pick this chubby, fat, pink, pig butt looking white woman, and you got all these beautiful sisters out here that you could choose from, but their self-esteem is crushed. And so they go on cruises with white people, and they go out and they say things like, here's to making more light-skinned babies. Oh, that's not an anomaly. That's not nothing new. Negroes been hating themselves. But that's the science behind racism. You have to make the competing race of people hate everything about themselves, from their history, their culture, their true religion. You get what I'm saying? Their hair texture. You have to reverse everything about who they are and make them love everything about who you are. But then what that says about the people who are oppressing you is that they're self-conscious as well. And I'll give you a prime example. White people are the most self-conscious, low self-esteem having people on the planet. Only a people who are insecure about themselves will have to go around the world forcing other people to believe in their religion. Only a people who are insecure about themselves will have to go around the world brainwashing people to act in that manner. African people ruled the world before Europeans. Asian people ruled the world before Europeans. They felt no need to force people into their way of thinking. You even go back to the Moors. Right before that, the Moors never forced anybody. They said, let me teach you. Real coon shit, but they said, let me teach you. Let me elevate you. Let me bring you up to my level of understanding. I don't have to force you into believing in Islam. I don't have to. Moors and Christians live side by side in Europe, thousands of years, hundreds of years. Like Africans they weren't insecure about themselves. Africans walked around naked, you know, if they choose to in certain kingdoms. If they choose, they walked around half naked, no problem. It's the European that came out of the cave like, hold on, I don't like how I look. The sun doesn't like me. Let me cover up. And so since I'm covered up, when I look at these Africans, I feel insecure because their skin is so brown, so voluptuous. Their skin is so juicy. Their behinds, they're so muscular. Let me now force them into wearing clothes because I feel insecure even looking at them naked. This is a fact. I'm giving you the social psychology behind racism, behind what we're dealing with, and how we must pull ourselves out of that. Because we all don't have to go back to Africa. We can make Africa wherever we are at. It doesn't mean go back to Africa. There's white people in Africa. They're going to chase us to Africa. The first few steps to any war is getting the people to change their minds first. Once we allow and once we are able to change our mindsets, then we are able to do anything else within the social system. It starts with changing our mindsets. This is why people like to say shit about Hitler, right? People like to say Hitler did this, Hitler did that. Here's the question I have to ask you. You telling me Hitler by himself rounded up 4 million Jews and put them in concentration camps? No, Hitler did not. So when people blame Hitler for the Holocaust, it is stupid, it is irrational, and it is not a thinking statement to make. Hitler was responsible for changing the mentalities and the mindsets of the German people who assisted Hitler in committing those atrocities. But Hitler did not commit these atrocities by himself. So when black people say irrational, stupid shit like, well, it's the system, it's not all white people. Well, the system does need all white people to some degree to participate in the system. What are you talking about? Like, I don't understand how we don't conceptualize that. The system only works if people participate in that system. So Hitler may have never even shot a Jew in his life. He probably sat up from the balcony and orchestrated everything because he changed the mentality of the people in Germany at that time. And this is what I'm trying to do. This is what Jason Black is trying to do, and Professor Black Truth is trying to do, and any other person who's putting their life on the line to speak the truth, to speak the real, to change the mindsets of African people is trying to do. Not saying we're trying to create a genocide of killing people, but we're trying to change the mindsets of African people where we can liberate ourselves. This is what this is about. Now, do I agree with every and any and everybody? No, we all going to have our disagreements on certain things. Sometimes people speak from emotion. Sometimes people think that they're speaking from a place of love, but it's just another form of aggression. And a lot of times what we are saying is not, but our objective all around should be the same thing, liberating our people. Not waiting around for no white sky daddy, not trying to prove people that this is our land, no, it should be liberating our minds and liberating our bodies. Liberating our minds and then liberating our bodies should be our primary number one objective in everything that we're doing. And if you're not doing that, then I don't know. Let me see if I can see some comments real quick. The system of racism employs people of all races. That's how the system works effectively. You got to see, because when you are a true minority, you have to take people from the majority to work for you in your best interests. So the system can only work effectively if you take people from all races to work within that system. You have to. That is the only way the system can work effectively. If you take from the majority of class of people and have them work for the benefit of the minority class of people. You have to change, you have to turn the people's minds backwards. And this is what America has essentially learned to do. There is no form of racism like American racism and how it has spread out with its imperialist um way of working. Oh, this shit is so effective, man. You have East Indians right now who just killing themselves because they hate being brown skinned. And you know what they hate more than being brown skinned? They hate black people more than being brown skinned. So the blacker you are, the more Indians hate you. And you like looking at East Indians like, nigga, you brown. You ain't my black, but you brown. And then some of them are blacker than us. But because the British colonized them, oh, they hate themselves. And this takes place throughout. You go to Asia right now. There's places in Asia where they're having corrective eye surgery. That's what they call it, corrective eye surgery, because they believe that their eyes being slanted like that is something wrong with that, and so now they want more westernized round eyes. That's crazy. That's crazy. And we're doing the same thing. We're falling into the same trap by bleaching our skin, you know, and all that other stupid stuff, because we have not yet learned to love ourselves within this system. But it's a process. It's a big process, man. It took me about, let me say, it took me about 5 or 6 years, man. And there's levels to becoming conscious. You know, one thing that Neely Fuller says that I love that he says when I listen to a show, the dude asked him about Dr. Bobby or something. He says, "How you doing, Neely Fuller?" And he always says, "I'm still learning." There's processes or a process to becoming conscious. And if you feel like you the most conscious person in the world, then you're not elevating anymore, because there's always something you can learn. There's always something, to better you, or something that can strengthen your level of consciousness. So there's no grand master of being conscious. There's always something to learn. I learn stuff every day, like wow. Even I have to check myself sometimes. I'm like, was that the white man talking inside of me? Like I gotta sit back and say, hold on, was that cracker talking to me? Like I gotta make sure, because we all got that white man living in us. We all got that cracker living deep down in our stomach. So I gotta sit back sometimes and be like, was that crackatosis? I want to make sure I ain't talking like a white man. I want to make sure I ain't thinking no white man shit. Okay, all right, wait. Okay, no, that was okay. Cool. You gotta check yourself, man. You gotta check yourself, because sometimes that cracker will slip out. I forgot I was talking to somebody the other day, and the person said, "Man, oh, I was talking on Instagram Live, and a young boy was up there, and he was like, "Man, these niggas talking shit in the comment section. Man, I'll slap one of these black ass niggas." And I was like, "Brother, you supposed to be conscious, and whatever the case may be." Like, so the cracker slipped out of him. That's what I call it. I call it in the beginning. I appreciate it. Trying to figure out, I'm not really tech savvy, man, and I'm trying to do everything for free. And obviously everything for free always isn't the best. So I finally got YouTube to work on my phone instead of my laptop. So I think now the sound is a lot better. The imagery is a lot better. Let me see. Yeah, the imagery is a lot better. Although my head is like slap in the middle of the Haitian thing or whatever. But I think it's a lot better now. I think the sound is a lot better. Nobody was complaining about the sound this time. And I want to keep providing information. I'm constantly reading. I'm constantly researching, because as I grow as an African, you grow as an African. Each one teach one. We are a village, no matter where or what we come from. I'm gonna start calling us universal Africans, because so many people just want to not identify with being African. So I say that we're universal Africans. We're Africans within the diaspora, or the universal black man. You know what I'm saying? Because so many people just on this indigenous stuff. Like, y'all see, I haven't been banging on them no more. I don't bang on them like that no more. I don't go on, because it's to me, it's becoming useless. And a lot of these dudes really don't want to organize. They use their ideology as a reason not to organize or not to come together. Man, I don't fuck with you because you talking about we African. Okay, cool. But we do have the same oppressor. Can we agree to that? Yeah, but you talking that African shit. Well, can we come together so we can fight? Nah, because you got to say that you Hebrew. But brother, if the white man gonna kill us, no matter if I'm Hebrew or not, I don't care. Nigga, if you ain't repping Hebrew, Yashawa, I ain't connecting. You know what I'm saying? So we use that bullshit as a reason not to come together. Same thing with the Native Americans or indigenous. We use our ideologies for reasons on not to come together. We use our religions on reasons why not to defend ourselves and fight against white supremacy. Oh, because Jesus said that we got to forgive. Well, hold on. This cracker been killing for 500 years and Jesus has been taking a nap. So when is either Jesus going to step in or we going to step up? Like which one? You get what I'm saying? So we use these things as justifications on why not to come together. So I said, you know what? Let me back off. I'm still a Pan-Africanist. I still know I'm African. But let's see how we can meet in a common ground. If Negroes don't want to meet in a common ground, then hey, then that just shows you're not really about the liberation. You're not really about organizing for real, which a lot of people are not about that at all. Some people are addicted to white supremacy. Addicted to it. I had one dude come on my page talking mad shit. This dude was talking mad shit. I gotta do it like I'm old school. This nigga was talking shit. Talking mad shit. And I went to his page. He had the new iPhone. He had the new this, the new that. I was like, brother, you talking all that stuff on my page and you addicted to white supremacy, boy. You got any and everything new that's coming out. And you talking mad shit like that? So again, some of us are addicted to it, man. We addicted to white supremacy. And some of us don't believe that we can actually do for ourselves. We don't think that we can make phones. We don't think that we can make microphones. We don't think that we can build up whole communities and empires. We don't think that. We think that without white people, these things won't exist. When we know fundamentally white people stole all this shit from us. That's how, that again, going back to the science of racism, that's how racism has destroyed our level of confidence. Where we don't even believe that if it wasn't for white people, we wouldn't have cell phones. If it wasn't white people, we wouldn't have microphones. If it wasn't white people, we wouldn't have TVs. We wouldn't have cars. This is how racism has destroyed our level of confidence. That Negroes are so addicted to white supremacy and what they believe white people have brought or contributed to the planet that they think that this shit would not exist without white people. That's how fucked up this shit is. But anyway, family, I overextended my time. Let me know if you like this video. Hit the like button, subscribe, share the link in this video. Drop mad questions in the comment section. You know, so we could make phones. Definitely, brother, or sister. We definitely can make phones. The technology is out there. We've made lots of things, man. If you let me say something. I was gonna get out of here, but let me answer that question right quick. Black people in America were some of the greatest inventors when the schools were segregated. When black people were segregated from white people, we were the greatest inventors. As soon as we integrated the school systems, or so-called integrated school systems, we became dumb as fuck. Has anybody not noticed that? Soon, when our black teachers were teaching our own children, we were speaking Latin, Greek, French, African languages, creating stoplights, creating this, blah, 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 blah. We were doing our thing. As soon as we said, all right, let's integrate the schools. Dumb. Plumb dumb. Dumb is all outdoors. But again, that's going back to the science of racism, that you have to make the people want to forget everything about who they are and assimilate to who you are, because somehow white ice is colder than black ice, and you just got to have you a cup of black ice. Pablo Frias says that freedom to the oppressed is through the eyes of the oppressor. Let me say that again. Freedom to the oppressed is viewed through the eyes of the oppressor. So we see freedom through the eyes of white people. I'm not free unless I could live next to white people. I'm not free unless I could marry a white woman. I'm not free unless I could move to a white person's house, go to their school, eating their lunch counter. My freedom is based around my level of whiteness, how close I can get to white people, how close I can absorb white people. I'm not free unless I could go into Gucci. I'm not free unless I could buy this Lexus. I'm not free. Our freedom, because we're twisted people by the society, is based off of how close we can get to whiteness. I thank y'all for joining me tonight. I appreciate everybody that comment. I love y'all. I do this for y'all. I do this for us. I try to make everything free. And I just love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all, man. I mean, I love y'all, man. Believe that, man, because sometimes my spirit be getting drained. Boy, my spirit be getting drained, boy. Y'all just don't know the type of stuff I be hearing from black people, and it's just I see why after every year psychiatrists or psychologists, they have to go to another psychologist to vent, because when you taking on so much people's energy, so much people negative energy, and because we are hurt people, man. We are a hurt people. And so me taking that stuff on and taking these DMs and taking that, sometimes it weighs into my personal life and it pulls me down, man. And you know, we are hurt people, man. And that's why when I see brothers like Umar, I'm like, yo, get off of Umar, man. Like, you don't understand what it is to really be. It hurts. Yes, yeah, it hurts. It hurts. Like the person said in the comment section, man. But we are hurt people, man. And I'm just trying to rebuild as many Africans as I can, because I love y'all. Because as I build and help build other Africans, then that means that the likely chances of one of you Negroes trying to rob me slims down. That means the likely chances of me opening a black business goes up with another black person. You know what I'm saying? The more we heal each other, the more we're able to build each other. And that's why I do this. That's why I try to make everything free. And I love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Share this video, like this video, and I'm gonna try to go live. I'm gonna try to go live as much as I can. You know, I'm definitely gonna try to go live as much as I can, man. I'm gonna try to figure out a way where people could call up and not do that whole cell phone, speakerphone thing again. So I'm gonna try to figure out a way to do that so people can call up. All right. Until next time, family. Again, share this video, like this video. Until next time, think black, stay black, love black, support black, and that's real African black power.